Welcome back to Little Lab at Home with the Museum of Life and Science. I'm Peregrine and I am so excited to be here with you all today. As always, we hope that you will help lead our program with your thoughts and your questions and ideas in our moderated chat box. So that's going to be the main way that we're able to communicate. Today's lab is all about colors. So I'd love to ask you, what is your favorite color? If you want, you can share with me in the chat box because I'd love to be able to shout some of those out. What's your favorite color? I know that for me, it's a really hard question because I love so many different colors. I don't think that I can choose. I really love a mint green. I really like a creamsicle orange. I really like a light sky blue, but I also like a dark bottle blue. I really like a bright lime green. Oh, we have some friends who are saying, oh, that they like purple and blue. Those are great colors, absolutely. I also really like carnelian reds. I really like a lot of different colors. And oh, it looks like we have some friend who says pink. Pink is a great color, absolutely. We have another friend who says red. Yeah, red's a good one. We have black, wonderful. Yeah, I love blacks and browns, especially, such beautiful colors. So there are so many colors out there, and many of us have favorites of those colors. I want us to ask ourselves right now, what makes things colorful? How does color work? If you want to, you can share your ideas in the chat box. We can also just think in our mind, what makes things different colors? What makes things all the different colors that we love so much? What do you think? We have a friend, saying that light, yeah, that light has to do with color, that it bounces off of things. Yeah, for sure. So light has to do with how our eyes can see color. We wouldn't be able to see color without light. Being able to see color has to do with light bouncing off of things or absorbing into things. The color that bounces off and into our eyes, that's the color that we see. So for my blue shirt, the light comes in and it absorbs every color of light except for blue, which bounces back to my eyes and to my camera, and that's what lets us see the color. Okay, so light helps us see color, but in terms of what color things are, many things get their color from something called pigment, but we're going to be talking about pigments. And we're talking specifically about different pigments found in nature. So for this experiment, we asked you guys to grab a couple of things, and I'd love to hear if any of you are doing the experiment with us, if you could let me know in the chat. I'm going to go to my experiment cam so we can take a look at some of the different materials that we'll need, and I'll show you some of the materials that I have. I'd love to hear what all of you have as well. I'm going to go ahead to that experiment cam here. What we will need for this experiment is, most of all, we will need some paper. Now, I have some white cardstock paper, so it's kind of thick. That helps it absorb some of the things that we're going to be putting on it today. But any kind of paper should work, or if you have a very thin type of white paper, you could also try it on a paper towel, see if that absorbs your colors any better. So you need some paper. You also need a hammer. Now, we said in our materials list that a mallet, a rubber or wooden mallet was going to be best. But if you're like me and you left your wooden mallet in your other studio, a regular hammer will work, and I'll show you what we'll do to kind of make it a little bit safer for us and for our experiment that we're going to create. The other thing that you will need for this experiment are things from nature that are different colors. Like I have a few right here. I found some of these beautiful flowers on a walk this morning. These are some really nice, I think they're in the dead nettle family. If we look at some of those beautiful little flowers on there, they're kind of purplish. I've got some Queen Anne's lace here. This is a really beautiful flower. I've also got this big, beautiful pink hydrangea. I've got some nice red dirt. I've got a few rose petals here. I've also got some food from my refrigerator. So I also have some fruits. That counts as a natural material. I have some different kinds of berries in here. Those are already turning some colors. I have some blackberries and raspberries and strawberries. I also have a few other things. I have some green grapes and I have some slices of peach in here. And I have the skins of two other fruits. I have the skin of a lime and the skin from a gala apple. So just a hint here is a lot of the things that we're going to be looking at, especially those fruits and vegetables, have a lot of pigment in their skins rather than in kind of in the insides. And we'll look at the difference in just a minute. So I've got all sorts of different kinds of things from nature. If you want to tell me some of the stuff that you found in the chat, I would love to hear about it. But here's how we're going to do our experiment. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention. I also have, this is totally optional, but I have just a little bit of water and a little paintbrush. This is something that if I make a lot of colorful pigment and I want to kind of paint around with it like it were paint from a tube, then I'm going to go ahead and use that to help me move it around. Rather than, I guess I could use my fingers too, but that might get a little messy. Speaking of messy, it's always good to have a towel nearby. I also have some paper towel here just in case. So let's talk about our experiment. Oh, it sounds like we have some friends who have some leaves. Yeah, I also have some leaves. I have some little clovers here. I also grabbed some grass. I'm not totally sure if this will work. I have some little oak leaves here as well. Oh, this is great. We have someone who has orange and yellow daylilies. Ooh, that's going to be beautiful. Green mint and purple Stokes aster flower. That sounds really beautiful. That's going to be really amazing, my friend. What we're going to do is we're going to combine all of those colors and get their pigments onto our paper. So here's what we'll do to set up this experiment. And even if you're not doing it at home with me, or if you're going to do it later, you can still be a part of our scientific experiment by helping us make some hypotheses today, some scientific guesses about how these things will end up. So the first thing we're going to have you do is fold your paper in half. We're kind of making a little pocket for all of our different items to capture their color. So we want to fold it in half and open it back up so it's kind of like a book. And we're going to put some colors on one side, close it up, and smash it with our hammer in just a moment. But let's talk about what we're going to put here. If you have any thoughts about what you would like to see on my page of any of the things I mentioned, you can let me know in the chat. I think I'm interested in getting some peach skin. So I'm going to grab the skin off of this very ripe peach. The other thing about grabbing the skin instead of the squishy watery part is it'll be a little less splatter. Now we like some splatter for sure, but it'll be a little less of a mess, but maybe the same amount or more color. So I'm just kind of spreading it on there. I can make a design if I want to, or I can just plop them on there. What will I do next? I think maybe some lime skin. Now I could pick whether I want it dark green down or dark green up. I think I'm gonna pick dark green down. What do you think? What should I choose next? Do you see anything in here that you would like me to put on here? We have a vote for, oh, we have a couple votes. We have some for this beautiful flower. I'm going to pick a little bit of that. There's so many little flowers on it that I can use. Oh, a little petal dropped there. That looks nice. I'll put some here and I'll put some there. That looks pretty good. What else? Oh, we had another request for some strawberry. That sounds good. I'm going to reach in here and I just, I sliced my strawberries up into little pieces. Again, so there's a little less goo, although there's still plenty of goo. So I've got my strawberry here and I'm going to lay it down on my paper. And I'm going to wipe my hand a little bit. I think I'm going to add one of these from my purple flowers. probably the dead nettle family. And one more thing, let's see, I will add, ooh, I'm gonna grab the skin off of my green grape here. So I'm just peeling, whoops, I only peeled a little piece there, peeling the skin off, and I'm gonna see if this will carry some color onto my paper, right? Because when we're talking about the pigments of these different things, we can't just necessarily take them and rub them on our paper like a crayon, right? It doesn't really work. What we need to do is we need to force some of the pigment out. So what we're going to do is we're going to close our little book. Make sure we're going to squish down all of our stuff. And then if you have a nearby towel or paper towel, we want to wrap our little book inside of it. So I'm going to take my towel like that, put this inside of it. Now, if you're using a hammer or if you're using a mallet, this is going to be a really important part. We want to kind of close it up. It's almost like we're protecting it. What we're really protecting is everything else, because when we hit it, we don't want too much splatter hitting everything. If you're using a hammer, whoops, like me, we want to make sure that we're practicing safety by always holding only one end of the hammer. We never want to put our fingers near here, or our fingers will get squished, and that will not feel good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, different natural materials that are all wrapped up in my paper, that are now wrapped up in a towel, and I have a tiny table next to me that I'm going to put them on. You can use whatever table you want, but I don't want to shake my camera too much. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit my my packet. I'm going to make sure that I take my hammer and that I'm gently tapping all the way. So I'm tapping every spot on my paper. Very nice. So now what we want to do is unwrap this like a little present. And before we take a look, I thought maybe we could make a scientific guess about which colors we might be seeing. We had a strawberry, we had a bit of flower, we had a grape skin, we had a peach skin and a lime skin. What colors do you think we might see? What do you think? How about probably some red from the strawberries, what I'm gonna guess. What else? I'm gonna guess maybe some pink. Yeah, yep, like my friend is guessing pink for sure. Maybe we will see some green from the lime and from the grape skin. I don't know. Let's check it out. This is going to be the reveal part of our experiment. So, ooh, you can see I got some nice red on my towel here. What I want to see is what got onto my paper. So I'm opening that up. Whoa. And I am seeing some pretty interesting colors here. So I definitely see a big splatter from my strawberry here. I'll see if any of my other ones left any color. Let's see, not a whole lot there. Let's see if my peach left anything for me. Oh, that looks pretty interesting. So I've got a little bit of orange from my peach. Looks like this is where my dead nettle was. Maybe that gave me a little bit of color there. I don't know, maybe I didn't hit it hard enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat my experiment. And I hope that all of you do the same. All right, let's see. I've got my hydrangea there. And I'm going to put that kind of in the center. See what that does. Okay, now I have some blackberry here. That's an interesting pattern there. Maybe I'll add a little bit of our rose petals there. And I don't know if our apple has really worked very well for us, but I think let's give it another try. I'm just gonna put little pieces there. And I'm gonna try our lime. This is a little end of the lime. Let's see if that changes anything. So this one's gonna be a little trickier to close since I've got the hydrangea in the middle. All right, I'll just do my best to close it quickly like that. And I'm gonna get to pounding the pigment out. All right, let's see what we've got. Whoa, we've got a lot of color in this one. I'll kind of hold it up here. A lot of this is coming from our berries. They're very, very juicy. They've got a lot of pigment in them. You can see our lime left us just a tiny little bit, not a whole lot, and that's okay. Let's see if our apple skin left us anything. I don't know if you can see, but it looks very faintly yellow, so that's kind of interesting. Let's see if this one looks any different. Oh, it looks like it kind of gives a different tint to my berry, which is very interesting. All right, now let's see. My hydrangea has left a little bit here. You can see those kind of periwinkle blues. Here's something I'm wondering is, can I use this kind of like a crayon? Huh. So I can even use my hydrangea petals almost like a crayon because I'm pushing really hard. Wow, that's pretty cool. So this is a really nice looking picture. If I want, I can leave these bits on. I can also peel them off, or I can wait for it to dry and then peel them off. So in the end, I've got a beautiful purple and pink with little bits of yellow and some kind of periwinkle blue in there. This looks really neat. This is a cool one. Something else I really like about natural pigments is how sometimes they look like a different color under different conditions. I'll show you what I mean. If I take a little bit of my lime skin, it's really acidic. Limes are really acidic, kind of like a lemon, right? Now my berries here get their color from a pigment group called anthocyanins. They make things really, really berry colored, really purple and reddish. And I know that they're sensitive to pH or to acidity. So if I take my really acidic lime peel here, I take it so it's juice side out, I'm going to see if I can change some of the color that I'm seeing. Whoa, that's looking like a pretty big difference. I'll do it again right here. Ready? Oh, look at that. So the color is sensitive to pH. So when I made it more acidic in certain places, it made the color a really bright pink. So we change the color just by changing the acidity of our natural pigment. Well, I hope that you will continue to experiment with these different methods and try out with different materials. Of course, we always want to make sure we have an adult with us when we're gathering materials. We can also use food, we can use food scraps. There's all kinds of materials all around us with pigments just waiting to be used in art. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Yeah, thank you guys. I hope that we'll see you next week for Lab at Home. I'm really looking forward to continuing to see you guys every Tuesday this summer. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope I'll see you next week. See you later, friends.